Tell me about it, sailor. Hello and welcome to Review. I'm your host, Rich Evans.
This may be the most important review, the most culturally significant review that we ever do.
It is a watershed film.
It is.
Changed the modern course of cinema.
Generations. It kind of did in some ways. This was the precursor to our modern nightmare IP mashup world. It all started with Freddy V Jason. It's been like 3 years, I think, since we did our epic reviews on the Nightmare on Elm Street series, and then, shocking to me, the Friday the 13th series.
I watched them all.
You watched them all, I rewatched them all, but that was a few years ago now, and we said eventually we'll get to Freddy vs. Jason. And much like the movie itself, we waited way too long before we finally did it.
Well, let me ask you this question. You said this movie was too late. So it's 2003, and I do remember this movie coming out and being like, oh, you know, what? Because the horror revolution began in '97 with The Scream, and then instantly they ran out of fresh ideas and they started like rebooting things. The Halloween H2O and stuff like that started coming out.
They all had the same poster. Every one of these Scream ripoffs had the same poster.
The early 2000s, late 90s posters with all the
attractive TV show actors. Yeah.
And it was always blue.
But I will say, in regards to this movie, refreshingly lacking in any sort of that post-Scream kind of wink-wink, self-aware nonsense. This movie is incredibly dumb in the most refreshing way.
Not my arm!
I actually really like this movie.
I do as well.
And I was shocked afterwards because I looked up the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's like 43 critical and 50% audience.
Oh, wow.
And my response to that is, what else did you want?
Well, I remember when this came out, I knew someone that said they were disappointed in the movie. They said, I wish they would have taken it more seriously. And I'm like, Freddy versus Jason?
That's like saying you want shall be unnamed.
That's like saying you want like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein to be a more serious horror film.
It's done in whatever way that is the best way to do this. I suppose you could have taken it a little more seriously, but you go, what do we do with a Freddy versus Jason movie? You come up with some stupid way for them to come back to life. You can't just have your whole movie be Freddy fighting Jason, or else it'll get dull, as it does kind of towards the end. There's so much Freddy fighting Jason in this movie. It's worth your price of admission. But also, you can't have that be the whole movie. So you have to have teens, and then you have to have a plot, and some kind of stakes with the characters where you kind of care about them. The main girl has her backstory with her dad, and the boyfriend goes to the insane asylum.
There's a lot going on in this stupid movie.
And they even squeeze in just a little bit of time for some character development for Freddy and Jason. They have the Jason backstory with the mother and the drowning at the camp. And then Freddy is less sympathetic.
As he should be.
The only thing they would have done with Freddy is, they're like, he was a child murderer, but he really liked little girls. And then there's a part where he tries to grape the lead actress. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be messy the first time. And I'm like, ooh.
He's doing his creepy Freddy seduction thing that he likes to do in these movies.
Yes, he's a bit of a perv. It went from child grape-ist in the remake, right? Like pure like
that was overt.
Yeah, straight up PDF file.
In all the Freddy movies, it was always kind of like subtext, which I think worked better. And that was forced on him. I know with the original movie, it was going to be a little more overt, but then there was some real life stuff happening at the time, so they scaled it back.
Right.
Jason he's like a big Frankenstein dumb monster. He's kind of stuck in his ways, as Freddy, as his mom says at one point in this movie. She's like, "You're a big dumb dog that can't stop eating." Yeah. And they start right off the bat. They make Freddy a creep because they show the little girl in his basement. You see his silhouette kind of hovering over her. We don't see what happened, but obviously he murdered her. And then you see that like close up of him like licking the back of the photo. Like they make Freddy appropriately creepy in this. They didn't make him too silly at the start. The movie kind of ramps up the silliness as it goes along.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting thing. The first thing I noticed upon rewatching with a more critical eye is that the lighting is terrible.
It's that early 2000s.
And in a way, I love that because I could see what's happening. It's very.
Oh, sure.
It's like the end of Titanic. Where everything's bright blue, and nighttime is bright blue, and it's not modern cinema where everything's super dark.
Yeah.
And yes, it is. It does look very early 2000s. It looks like an American Pie movie or a sex comedy, and then. Oh God, the exteriors of the house with the rain coming down, like you could literally see where the giant like floodlight is.
Yeah.
And then there's another scene too, I'll point out real quick, where the teens are in like their hideout, and the camera's kind of coming in, and there's like.
Well, when they're sitting around the table.
There's like a spot, and it looks like, I thought, why did they stop and join a local theater company, and why are they doing a play now? Is this a dream? And then I realized, oh, this is the actual lighting for the scene.
It's stylized, Mike.
And then I'm like, this movie's getting a little silly, which I was surprised you guys didn't include it on your top 10 Joe Dante films. Because it gets pretty active towards the end with the oxygen tanks flying.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Even before that, when they're in the dream world and Freddy's fighting Jason, and Freddy is making Jason think that he's winning by like chopping off his arms, and they have the ADR of Freddy going, "Not my arm!"
There's that shot where his arms come back.
Yeah,
it's super awesome.
Yeah, he's fucking with Jason because he can't be hurt here.
Yeah. So so then I was like, what's going on? And I looked up, the director is Ronnie Yu.
Yes.
And I looked at his credentials, and a lot of Hong Kong films, and I don't think they were like action movies. They look like comedies.
I only have seen one of his movies, one of his Hong Kong movies. He did a movie called The Bride with White Hair. Okay. But it's very stylized, as this movie is. Lots of like crazy camera movement. And
okay.
So like the lighting in this movie, it's not natural, obviously, but it's done intentionally. Especially later when you have like all the like everything's bathed in red or bathed in green. So he's a very like stylized, one of those like Hong Kong style
like a
guys.
Joel Schumacher.
Like a style more than substance kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. And then the DP is a guy named Fred Murphy. It's like DP for hire, like everything, TV, movies. Nothing specific.
Now, do you know this offhand? Is he Canadian? You probably don't know.
I didn't look.
Because this movie was shot in Vancouver, and they did that to cut costs. So I'm wondering if they hired just a local cinematographer, a Vancouver cinematographer.
They opened the phone book.
They went on Craigslist.
No, this guy's worked a ton, and he's done a ton of movies.
I'm not saying he's not professional, but I'm just saying like because there was a controversy with the movie where they didn't cast Kane Hodder as Jason. And people were upset about that. They cast this guy, Ken Kirzinger, who I think works well for the movie. I like Kane Hodder just fine, but I don't care if you replace Jason. You can't replace Freddy, because he's got too much personality. But, and there was all this, like, there's all these different conflicting stories on why they didn't cast Kane Hodder. Was it a money issue, blah, blah, blah. The director wanted someone taller. There's all these different stories. And to me, one that never gets brought up that I think is the most simple and logical is that Ken Kirzinger is a Canadian actor. And so that's one less American you have to bring up for the shoot. You got all your lead actors who are American actors, John Ritter's son, Jason Ritter. And it's like, well, Kane Hodder, you never see his face. He's expendable. Let's get a local. So they had Ken Kirzinger, professional. He's done tons of stunt work and things like that. But that's like one less person to worry about. Because you have to have a certain amount of Canadian cast and crew when your movie's shot in Canada.
Thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's always been my thought as to why they didn't use Kane Hodder. But yeah, they're using obviously professionals, the cinematographer. Professional cinematographer, I'm going to guess he's Canadian.
But well, he's done a lot of work, is my point,
Sure.
and it's a lot of varied work. It's nothing specific, and I know like a DP can adapt to certain movies, but the movie looks like a early 2000s sex comedy. Like and then the director who doesn't have a background in horror. It just seems like two odd choices to make the film.
There's a very specific cynical studio choice why Ronnie Yu directed this, because the movie he did right before it was Bride of Chucky. He breathed new life into a long-dead horror franchise from the 80s.
I did see that on.
So you see that, and the movie was a big hit. Bride of Chucky was a big hit. So you say, hey, that guy did it. Let's have him do that again.
It's kind of like picking J.J. Abrams to direct The Force Awakens.
Yeah, exactly. That guy successfully revived.
Which was my idea.
Yeah.
No one else had that idea.
No one ever suggested it, and the major studio said, hey, we need to listen to everything in this funny YouTube video.
Oh, right.
And we need to base our entire franchise off of this comical YouTube video.
Off one clown from Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's a very realistic thing that definitely happened.
Facetious, joking around, but they really did call me.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. And they said, what do you think, Mike? And I said, go with JJ.
Okay.
Like, he did the Star Trek movie, and even though it wasn't great, it revived that movie. Yeah. And why don't you guys use him for Star Wars? Mm-hmm. We'll cut this out?
We'll cut all this out.
Because I don't want people to really know that it was my decision.
Right.
That's so here's where you edit. Ready? Okay. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so Disney, listen to me.
Oh, of course they did. Who would believe that?
Anyways, yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyways, back to Freddy versus Jason.
There's nothing that brought it up to the level where you could feel this is about some important human issues aside from just two men smashing each other. So it didn't do it for me.
Oh, also related to the style of the movie, another that early 2000s thing that I hate is that low frame rate, that shutter speed thing.
Oh, I was going to bring that up.
Even the fucking Lord of the Rings movies do that. It's so ugly and it's so dated.
Yeah, it's not quite simulated slow motion. Like slow motion, like with film, you have to overcrank, but and then it's like with that,
you change the shutter speed so you get this fluttery effect.
So that's not a post thing? They actually do that?
Yeah, you shoot like that. It was a creative choice that many people made in the early 2000s, just that little window.
I always thought it was like, oh, I want this shot to be slow-mo. Let's do this slow-mo thing, but really it's not. It's in regular speed, but it's just jittery.
I think in this case they're doing it for the dream sequences, but it's more distracting than anything.
No, they do it in the cornfield.
Oh, that's right.
The fat guy's running from Jason. Mm-hmm. They just have a shot where he's running through the corn, and it's jittery, and then it cuts back to real time. Maybe it was stylized.
And then it cuts to actual slow motion, where he's running out of the cornfield.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see that he already has all the fake blood in his mouth. He's ready for him to get stabbed so he can spit it out. But before he spits it out, you can just see that it's in there. That's fine.
I wanted to say, speaking of early 2000s, when you're in that period, you're just sort of well, the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s all had very, very defined looks. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the 2000s, But now looking back, boy, was I wrong.
Crank up that butt rock new metal.
The end credit music.
All the music in this movie is god awful.
The Britney Spears pants, and the hairstyles, and then the frosted tips.
Yep. But the datedness, the music in this movie, which is terrible. But that's a part of the DNA of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Yeah. You can't blame a movie for being dated when it's made in an era.
Because you look at the older movies, they had the Fat Boys, where Freddy Krueger was rapping in their song.
It's time for Freddy. See, I'm a popular guy. If you don't know yet, you're gonna find out why.
Houdini, there's a rap song from Nightmare 5.
Here we go with a 4-4 pro in a show of medium tempo at the spotlight close. Artists in action against distraction. Negativity breaks us down to fractions.
Freddy's Dead, I think, was like early grunge, like Goo Goo Dolls before they became a wimpy ballad band.
Roseanne Barr.
Sure. So that's a staple of these movies, is dated to the time that they were made.
I've been where the river ran. I'm drowning in a sunless sea.
Because they appeal to a younger crowd.
Yeah.
They appeal to the youth, so you gotta put the rap metal in.
I wanted to mention that was another trend is, and this isn't me being cynical. I've heard interviews with various producers. I think one of the producers of the Halloween franchise talking about this.
Oh, fuck me, shit!
The market research was showing that these films were huge with the African American audience. The studio wanted to attract people from that demographic. Who better than LL Cool J?
That they intentionally would cast like a rapper or an R&B star to bring in a different demographic than who would normally see like a Halloween sequel.
I'm talking about a black person.
A black person.
Because this has
Kelly Rowland.
Kelly Rowland's one of the Destiny Children in a classic performance.
You don't think they cast her for her acting ability in this movie?
No.
Oh, God. Which one had the super bad toupee here?
Okay.
I think that was, I'm assuming it wasn't them casting her, it was her asking to be in the movie to start trying to make a headway into acting.
No.
And
seems like that worked out great.
No, it didn't work for her. It didn't work for Beyonce. Remember Beyonce was in Goldfinger?
Oh, Goldmember.
Goldmember, yeah. Sorry, the parody of Goldfinger.
Yes.
And then Rihanna was in the Battleship movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's like certain, and then some, for some like musical artists it goes well, like
sure.
a Will Smith or
yeah.
Ice-T. There's a lot of people that transition successfully from music into movies. Some just aren't cut for both.
Yeah.
And Kelly Rowlands is certainly one.
Place your hormones back in the box and quit while you're ahead, okay? We don't have time for data dork right now. Thanks.
Well, Jay, I understand this film was in development hell for quite some time, which leads to its late arrival.
2003.
Right, and you are the expert on this because I was curious because it's called Freddy versus Jason. And I know, I don't know the details, I know you do, the difference between Jason and Friday the 13th. And they are two separate copyright holders.
It became much more of a legal issue later, but when this movie was made, New Line Cinema bought the rights to Jason. So that's why all the New Line movies are like Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Freddy versus Jason. They sorted it out after this one, because then the reboot was just called Friday the 13th. But it was a thing where, yeah, they couldn't call it Friday the 13th, but they had rights to the Jason character.
Now, is that Sean Cunningham?
Sean Cunningham, who was a producer on this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw
that. That was the dispute, was Sean Cunningham produced and directed the original Friday the 13th, but another guy named Victor Miller wrote it. And so there was like rights split up between the two of them. Eventually in the late 80s, Paramount decided that they were tired of making these embarrassing movies. So they sold the rights to New Line Cinema. So now Freddy and Jason are owned by the same company, but Paramount still owned the title, Friday the 13th. But that was, the early 90s. New Line Cinema got the rights to the Jason movies. They made Jason Goes to Hell, which ended with the Freddy glove coming out. And that was like 93 or something. So that was the plan, was to do Freddy versus Jason after that.
Took a decade?
And it took him like a decade. My joke when this movie came out was always, when I'd see like the trailers or whatever, my joke was always, the most anticipated movie of 1998.
Place your bets, people. See you in the ring, Voorhees.
Oh my God. So it took 10 years for the lawyers to sort this out?
Not the lawyers. It took 10 years for them to come up with a satisfactory concept. They didn't know how to do it. I haven't read it, but there's like an entire book that was written about all the different scripts over the years to try and like tackle a Freddy versus Jason movie. And they all got like extremely weird. There's one that had like a cult of Freddy worshipers. There's one where Jason got actually arrested and was on trial. There's like courtroom scenes with Jason on trial. There's apparently one where Freddy like assaulted Jason's mom, like crazy stuff.
Sure.
And so I think it was like, it's Freddy versus Jason. We got to go all out. And eventually cooler heads prevailed, and they said, let's keep this simple.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what really works about the movie.
Well, it's almost like a what-if movie. Like, because if someone's expecting some sort of cohesive plot that makes sense, you're insane.
They do the best they can, though.
I know. That's the thing. Is like
the initial setup is a little convoluted as far as like Freddy getting in touch with Jason.
Oh, it's stupid.
There's like ridiculous voiceover that was added later. That wasn't a part of the original cut of the movie.
I feel like
Freddy narrating the movie is a very strange choice.
Freddy is the narrator up until they no longer need a narrator.
Yes.
And he's just explaining everything. And I was so hoping he would come back and, at this point, I was really mad at Jason.
He's sitting by like a fireplace with a book.
Right. He's reading to a bunch of children. He's about to kill.
Yeah.
But
no, he doesn't narrate anymore. There is one part where he talks directly to the camera, though.
Not strong enough yet. Well, I will be soon enough. Until then, I'll let Jason have some fun.
I remember seeing this in the theater, and a friend of mine leaned over to me and just goes, "Who's he talking to?" I was like, it doesn't matter. Looney Tunes.
Well, okay, so...
But yeah, the setup is a little convoluted. But once that's out of the way, it mostly makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
And the storyline with the teen characters, I think, is pretty good. And that's the thing everyone says, who cares about the plot? Who cares about these characters? It's not bad.
You need them.
You got a little backstory. They were Will and Lori. They were a young couple when they were like 14, and then one day Will just disappeared, and she doesn't know what happened to him. And there's a mystery surrounding her mom's death. And it turns out Will was kept in an institution, the same institution from Nightmare on Elm Street 3. But they put him and all the other kids that knew about Freddy, they locked him away and they drugged him because they're trying to cut out Freddy from this town like a cancer. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not a bad backstory.
Using a hypnocell.
Yeah, from Nightmare 3.
Yeah, but the reason why they put him away was because he climbed up to her bedroom window, just like Johnny Depp did in the same house, and then he saw the father.
It looked like the father was killing the mother.
The father was killing the mother, but really he was trying to protect the mother because Freddy was killing the mother, because Freddy loved to kill the whores that lived in that house.
Yes.
He had a thing for killing the whore. There was like, why is he attacking the mother in that house?
This is why.
I've always loved killing the whores in this house.
Okay.
It was you.
I've always had a thing for the whores that live in this house.
It's not a plot hole either.
Welcome to my plot convenience, bitch.
Welcome to, yeah. So, but then Freddy eventually. So that's post Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare.
Yes.
At which Freddy was blown up by a dynamite stick.
Whatever. We'll just ignore Freddy's Dead.
That's
Nobody
what I mean.
cares.
It's like
this is like a greatest hits. These are the things you vaguely remember from these movies.
Yes.
This is their main backstory.
Yeah. It's a what if scenario.
Jason's a mama's boy. Freddy, is a nightmare killer. It's all we need. And now Freddy's power is gone because the town has made everybody forget about him.
They suppressed him.
He revives Jason to go kill kids on Elm Street so that he can gain his power back.
Yes.
But then Jason can't stop killing, so then Freddy has to stop him himself, hence the titular Freddy versus Jason.
Yes. Well, Freddy gets very upset when Jason takes one of his kills.
Yes.
Which is the girl in the cornfield party who wanders into the grain silo.
Gib is her name.
I don't know. And she's about to get raped by the glow stick guy.
2000s raver.
Yes, and then Jason takes his machete and stabs the grapist through the back and through her, and then Freddy gets very angry.
Yes.
Instead of then maybe talking to Jason about his feelings and saying, "Look, Jason, I know you didn't know, but I was about to kill that young lady, and if we're going to work together and, kill the kids of Springwood, we have to, set some boundaries and some rules."
I don't know why they didn't put that scene in the film.
Yeah, and then Jason would have just went, like, I'll take the east side of town, you take the west side of town, and we'll have a compromise.
Sure, yeah.
But Freddy just became angry.
He just got mad.
And he said, no, because you need motivation for him to want to attack Jason.
That's the thing, and it kind of makes sense in the world of this goofy movie.
I would classify Freddy as irrationally angry. So it doesn't make it wouldn't make sense if he tried to talk about his feelings.
Yes.
So then they start fighting.
And Jason's kind of too dumb to really understand what's going on anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Freddy just sort of pointed him in the right direction where he could kill kids, which is all he wants to do. And then he can't stop.
It would be a one-sided conversation if
Yes.
Freddy tried to talk to Jason about their feelings and formulate a plan.
Yeah.
So, because I think that's what the people wanted. That wanted a more realistic version of. But hey, see, the thing is, I think when I saw this movie, obviously I was older, but I was kind of prepared for a disappointment based on many disappointments for movies like this. I think it all started with the canon He-Man movie.
Oh, we're going way back.
Yeah. And
okay.
And you're just like, oh, they're making this. And then they're making this, and it's just disappointment. And then when they get around,
and the idea of Freddy versus Jason, people have been talking about that since the '80s.
And then finally, when it would come out, I think maybe Alien 3 you could factor into a disappointment.
Oh, sure. Even though I like that movie, but
it's a good
coming off of Aliens,
it's a good movie from a different perspective, as like a more mature adult.
Yeah, as a follow-up to Aliens.
At the time, and you're like, they're doing another Alien sequel to Aliens.
I can't wait to see what Ripley and Newton Hicks get up to this time.
Yes, exactly.
Whoops.
And I'm like, boy, that was a fucking disappointment. And then so many things. And then Freddy versus Jason, I expected the response to be, oh, they barely fought. They only fought for 2 seconds at the very end of the movie, and we had to sit through all this. But no, they give you the good.
Yeah.
You're slow, you're stupid, and you're all washed up.
Yeah, pretty much the entire second half of the movie is Freddy fighting Jason.
Yeah.
And they vary it up. We get Freddy and Jason in the dream world, where Freddy has the advantage and is knocking him around, and they had pinball sound effects. And then they go to Camp Crystal Lake and they fight in the real world, because established Freddy lore is if you're holding on to him in your dream and you wake up, he gets pulled out into the real world.
And they have a plan.
And yeah, they have a plan. All our teen Scooby-Doo characters, they have their plan. They got a Scooby-Doo van. They get to Crystal Lake, which is within driving distance of Springwood, I guess.
Well, they go in the middle act, they go to the hospital to retrieve Hypnosil.
Yes, the hospital from part 3,
Yes.
which is nice. There's lots of little nods to the other movies throughout these.
That was how Freddy got back into the real world, right? He makes. You probably don't like the scene where there's the Jay and Silent Bob guy. Oh.
That's, again, dated. That was a pop culture figure from that time. Let's just rip him off wholesale.
Yeah.
It's just Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
And he's of course, he stops to smoke weed, and then Freddy turns into a caterpillar.
A little Alice in Wonderland, stoner caterpillar.
Yes, and takes over his body by going into his mouth.
Yes, because that's also been established that Freddy can possess people.
Yeah.
That's happened a couple times.
The comical thing is the control room for the hospital. It looks like the control room in the Death Star. And apparently it runs on like 100 million volts of electricity for some reason.
That's fine. Jason's hacking at it. There's sparks and electricity flying everywhere.
And I'm like, this is overboard, but it needs to be.
It's fine. For this movie, the whole thing is kind of silly and heightened.
Mike? Is that you?
So you open with a classic Jason kill, which I even thought might have been a scene from one of the movies. It was like the girl's out on the pier and says, "Come swim with me, Mark." Mm-hmm. She takes off all her clothes. We actually have nudity in a horror film, which is all gone. the lady swims and then Jason kills her, but it turns out Jason's caught in some kind of like hell or limbo.
Yeah.
And then
I like that aspect, this sort of like Jason purgatory when he's not like in the real world killing people. He's kind of just like resting under the ground and has this like image of just killing people on repetition.
Right.
There's that cool part later in the movie where we see this kind of dreamlike world where he's like dragging a dead body to this old cabin. It's like a fantasy, it's like a nightmare scene, but it's kind of like, oh, that's his entire life. Like visually, it's represented in kind of a cool way.
Yeah, they open that door and there's like all the dead bodies floating around.
Yeah.
The most recent one, the girl from the grain silo floats up. Yeah, I like all that stuff. And then Freddy, he drags him out, wakes him up.
Yeah.
He impersonates his mother to wake him up. But the point is like we get the Jason kills, especially at the barn.
Yes.
The cornfield.
Yes.
So, as perfect as the screenplay is, in the first act it gives you some Jason stuff and then some Freddy stuff. There's the scene where Kelly Rowland is in the nurse's office and she's flipping through the magazine and the pictures get grosser and grosser.
Well, they've established that she wants to have plastic surgery.
wants to have
She's
a
not
nose job,
happy with her physical appearance. She wants a nose job.
But then Freddy's like, got your nose, and he flicks her nose off, and it's a dream, you know.
You feel like you traveled back to 1987. Like
Yeah.
that whole scene is like classic Freddy
Exactly.
stuff. Some bad CG, but that goes throughout the whole movie. You can live with it.
Yeah, it's peppered with classic early 2000s problems.
Yes,
Bad
yes.
CG, but also positives. One positive is real fire.
Oh, sure.
There might be some CGI blood at this point, but when it comes to like setting that house on fire and then the fire that's all scattered around the ending when they're shooting the gas.
When fucking Jason's on fire.
Yes,
One of the
and
best
that-
scenes in any
that as
Jason
well.
movie when he's going through the cornfield party and hacking everybody
Yeah.
up while on fire.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I wanted to talk about that with this movie is general like Easter eggs and the like culture, like fan culture, and how different it is now when it comes to
No
stuff
legacy.
like this.
Yeah.
Like if this movie were made today, or if social media existed when this movie, the way it does now, the way it did when this was made, the fact that Kane Hodder wasn't cast as Jason, there would be like online petitions, cancel the movie, I'm boycotting the movie,
Yeah.
all that shit. The fact that they have Jason's mom in the movie, it would have been nice if it was Betsy Palmer. She was still alive and acting when this was made.
Oh.
It would have been nice to have a little cameo by her.
That's why I looked her up to see if it was the same lady.
Yeah,
but
no,
it turned-
different lady, but she just passed away.
She passed away this month.
Yeah.
Well, she passed last month.
Yeah.
September she passed away of 2025. Wow.
So like, yeah, but that's another thing is like, oh, they have Jason's mom and it's not Betsy Palmer. I'm boycotting this movie. Everybody write to New Line Cinema. We're boycotting. Like it just like endless fan entitlement is so off the charts now. So you watch this movie and it just feels so simple and of a different era. Because those things don't I mean, if you recast Freddy, that would be the only thing I don't think you could get away with.
Oh.
You could not have someone else play Freddy in this movie.
This movie.
This movie. Obviously, they recast him after that, and that's another positive for this movie is just like seeing Robert Englund. It'd been so long, seeing him get to play Freddy one last time and just like reveling in it. He is having so much fun in this movie because he understands it's a cartoon movie. You can do the like later sequel kind of silly Freddy. The part at the end, they're on like the construction site and he's up top and he just yells down to Jason, "Hey, asshole!"
Hey, asshole! Up here!
I just love when he's like, torpedoes away.
Firing tanks at Jason. Well, also, even like the house. Like they shot this in Vancouver. They didn't, so that house, the Nightmare on Elm Street house, 1428 Elm Street, is in Hollywood. It's right off of Hollywood Boulevard. And because they shot it in Vancouver, I think of like those recent Halloween movies when they wanted the Myers house. Just to make sure it was completely accurate to the original film, they just built a facade of a house. Here, they just went to Vancouver and they said, that kind of looks like the house from the first movie, but they just shot it there, and it's fine. Nobody cared.
Nobody got on X.
Nobody was writing petitions to cancel Bob Shea, the head of New Line Cinema, because they didn't go back to the original house or replicate it completely accurately.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that. I know the staircase is right there when you walk in, that leads right down to the front door. And then I was thinking about the kitchen. I was like, is the kitchen the same? And then I don't care.
It doesn't really matter.
No.
Yeah. As long as you got Robert Englund in it. That's the only thing. That would have been a step too far if they didn't have Robert Englund.
Oh.
But like Kane Hodder, I like him as Jason. It didn't bother me at all that he wasn't in this. They cast a guy that was much taller because visually they're going for the contrast. Like Freddy, you can't change the Freddy makeup too much either. Freddy's like locked in. It's Robert Englund and it's this type of makeup. But his skin is like fleshy colored. So they made Jason super tall and they made him like almost like black. Like his skin is like rotting away. So he would have that visual contrast.
Yeah, and the Freddy makeup was a little different, but it wasn't too different.
It was better than some of those other like Freddy's Dead where he just looks like complete rubber.
The only thing I wanted to mention is that they steal a scene from Attack of the Clones in this film, and Attack of the Clones came out in 2002. And they're very similar scenes.
I don't even know what that thing's supposed to be. It kind of looks like a boiler, but it wouldn't be hanging from the ceiling.
A car magnet? I don't know. It looked like that.
Yeah.
Like the RoboCop thing that they drop on RoboCop. So I wrote down Freddy.
Okay.
It's something.
It's something.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it's literally something.
Well, that would be Freddy Krueger as a Jedi. It would
Okay,
be
yeah.
A Freddy.
That's almost too silly when they're like hand-to-hand fighting and doing like WWE moves. Because like Freddy's just like a normal guy here. This is almost a little too silly.
What's the canon? What's the rules of that?
I mean, that is the rules. As he's brought into the real world, he's just a guy.
He's just a man.
Yeah.
And he can't be thrown 100 feet in the air and crash down through something without being horribly injured.
Yeah. That's why it makes sense that he would start using those tanks.
Yeah.
It's like he can't fight him physically, like just one-on-one.
Yeah, that's the perfect thing to do.
Yeah.
Is Freddy would outsmart Jason.
Yes.
And you know someone had that conversation. Well, he can't fight him now. You could do some things where he throws him through a wall and, doesn't Jason pick him up and drag him through windows?
He sticks him through one window and then just drags him through the whole row of windows.
Breaks like the support structures between each window. I don't think a person could survive that.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're going to look past that.
A person couldn't survive one hack from Jason's blade where he just like has a geyser of blood erupt from him and it happens over and over.
But they said, okay, we'll have a little bit of fighting, but then after that, there's a limit to what Freddy can take, so he has to start outsmarting him. And he's shooting CO2, propane tanks at him. And then he does the thing with the rebar.
Yes.
And he dumps all this rebar down. You want to make it look like Freddy could defeat Jason, but then, he drops a thing. And
it's like a cement mixer thing.
Swinging around and hitting. And then Freddy falls. Oh, he's trying to dump a... This is like classic Tom and Jerry stuff. He's trying to push a giant cart of dirt.
Yeah, whatever
and then
it's supposed to be.
It gets caught on something, and then Freddy falls, and he's hanging off something. Oh no!
The only thing that's missing is the Benny Hill music.
Yes.
That whole sequence.
But you can't have two horror icons fighting each other for 40 minutes regularly. So, I mean,
they kind of do, but they have the human characters mixed in that are caught up in the whole storyline as well.
They give you your money's worth.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason.
That ending on the pier, the music is like bombastic, and they're just hacking each other.
Yeah.
Blood spurting, practical blood. You're just picturing some poor effects guy underneath that dock with a hose.
Well, it's probably like compressed air that shoots it out because you could see the poof of
yeah, that's
air.
true. And that feels very Hong Kong stylized.
Yeah.
That feels like that's why you hire someone like that. There's that great moment during that fight when Freddy gets Jason's machete and he cuts off Jason's fingers.
Yes.
And there's like an extreme close-up of Jason's face and his little stubs come into frame and he's just sort of looking at it for a moment.
He can't hold his machete anymore.
He can't hold his
He does
machete.
not know why. He's just an oaf.
He's just a big dumb guy.
And, and then Freddy gets to pick up Jason's machete and use it. And then I would say it would have been cool if Jason put on Freddy's glove, but he kind of does when he shoves Freddy's arm with the glove through his body.
Yeah.
Now, did this movie do well financially?
Well, that was the thing, is like when it came out, I was like, well, I'm excited about it. And I'm sure like people that grew up on Fangoria magazine will be excited about it, but too much time has passed. Both these series are past their prime. Nobody really cares anymore. But it ended up being the highest grossing movie of either franchise. It was a gigantic hit.
Oh, okay.
A big old hit, which is why it's even more surprising that afterwards they said, we'll just reboot them both. I think it took so long to get this movie made. They had so many different ideas. They went through so many different scripts and drafts. It was such a pain in the ass. Even though when you see the movie, it's like, oh, this seems like it would write itself. It's so simple. Just come up with a simple plot to get these two together. But it was apparently a giant mess behind the scenes to get it made. So I think they didn't want to have to try and go through that again for Freddy vs. Jason 2. And Robert Englund was getting older. He did a lot of his own stunts in this movie, and he's, I don't know, 50s, late 50s when they made it.
You know, I've never worked so hard in my life, and I'm an old dog now. I mean, I surf, and I can do everything once. And you know what happens on a set? Sets are very macho and very male, and you try to get out there. But in the case of this film, I mean, I wore the wire. All the underwater stuff is me. All the water stuff is me.
So I think they said, if we want longevity to these franchises, we need to just reboot them. So that's what they did.
That was probably a wise decision.
Well, that is the weird thing, is both of them, the Friday the 13th reboot, and even though everybody hates the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, they both did pretty well financially, to the point where they could have gotten sequels. But I didn't think, just like the interest wasn't there, like a general audience. They made money, but no one was like excited for more of them.
Yeah, well, there's the curiosity watch, and then there's the like, I'll pass on the next one because I've seen it.
Yeah.
And that, you know, typically that's not the case with sequels. Like I would have skipped Freddy vs. Jason 2 because unless you have a treasure trove of random ass plots that you could pull from those early meetings.
Sure.
The Freddy cult resurrects Freddy, and Jason, they find the Jason from space. He travels through a wormhole and ends up in the, and then you have robot Jason from space. Why not, you know?
And then you have robot Freddy, Uber Freddy. Put that in the movie. So I think it was just the novelty of putting these two together that kind of brought in. And like, I wonder if it's a case of like enough time had passed. We're now thinking of when this came out, Freddy and Jason were almost like, is like nostalgia. Is this an early like nostalgia bait movie? Because to me, the joke was, like, oh, the most anticipated movie of 1989. Like, nobody really cares about these franchises anymore, but I guess it was a crowd pleaser, word of mouth, it did well.
They're pop cultural icons. And even though it was 10 years too late, it's still fine.
Yeah.
You could probably make this movie today. I mean, maybe you could make it, some sort of different variation of it.
I mean, Chucky versus Leprechaun is the way to go.
Yeah.
Two little guys.
Sure. See, the thing is, though, that would not get a release in the theater.
Yeah.
And that's because we're in a different era now. Chucky versus Leprechaun would be like a Netflix movie.
That would be made for stars.
Yeah, it would be something that like no one would see. It wouldn't be in the theaters and everyone would go to the theater. So it's a different world.
That's the thing too, is like, everybody knows Freddy and Jason. Now, what would you do? The only real like icon now is that Art the Clown from the Terrifier movies.
I was gonna say Art the Clown.
He's kind of like reached those heights where everybody, even if you haven't seen those, you recognize that clown.
Right.
And there really aren't anything else like that.
I've never seen one of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
But you know about him.
The thing you need is the supernatural element, where you know, Jason and Freddy are immortal and cannot be killed. So I don't know what Art the Clown is. I don't know who he would fight.
I saw there was a
John Wick
for this Halloween season. Fanta, the soda company, has like different cans with different horror characters on it. So it's like Chucky. I think there's a Michael Myers one, but then there's like the Grabber, the character from that Black Phone movie. It's like him.
Ethan Hawke?
Yeah, that character. It's like, is he like iconic? That's a good movie.
Yeah, popular movie.
But you don't have, other than Art the Clown, you don't have any other like Freddy or Jasons of this
No,
era.
no.
That's a long gone thing because you don't have a monoculture anymore. You don't have like everybody knew the same movies and TV shows. You grew up, even if you know on the playground as a little kid, even if you've never seen a Friday the 13th movie, you know about Jason.
Critters versus Gremlins.
There you go.
You know, the giant
made
critter
for Sci-Fi Channel.
The giant critter ball rolls over an entire crowd of gremlins and just sprays like green slop all over the town. Just keeps hitting people. And you know. And
This was like the end of like pop culture. It came out right before everything fragmented.
And cancel culture. You were right on the end when you could still call Freddy Krueger a
What kind of runs around in a Christmas sweater?
That is a line that absolutely nobody involved with the movie wants to take credit for. The writers are like, we never wrote that. And then Ronnie Yu, the director, he's like, I don't know why all the producers, everyone looked at the dailies, and nobody said we should cut it. I didn't write it. So it's like nobody wants to take credit for that.
I always found that scene interesting, like if it was that Kelly Rollins herself, like saying, I want a scene where I'm a badass and I'm trash talking Freddy Krueger right to his face.
Well, the original idea, this is what the writers...
Sort of like a vanity moment.
Maybe,
for
yeah.
the actress.
I want to talk some sass to him. The original idea, according to the writers, they didn't write that line or that dialogue. Their idea was that she would basically say, kind of what Heather Langenkamp says at the end of the first movie.
I know the secret now. This is just a dream. You're not alive. This whole thing is just a dream.
Where she's like, I'm not afraid of you. I take back any power that you have. That's what Heather Langenkamp says to Freddy at the end of the first Nightmare.
Okay.
But Kelly Rowland is saying it to Jason.
Oh.
And then Freddy's behind her, and he says wrong mythology or something like that. And then,
that was the original way.
That was the original idea.
Okay.
He's just like, wrong mythology, bitch, whoosh, and kills her.
Oh, that makes more sense.
So something that's a little more tied in with the kind of concept of those characters, and doesn't just call him a gay slur.
Confronting the villain,
Yeah.
but with, like as Heather Langenkamp did to Freddy, like
Yeah, but using it on the wrong character,
you can't
using it on
get me-
Jason instead of Freddy.
Yeah, that would have been funny. You
Yeah.
can't get me in your dreams, like in my dreams you can't get me, blah blah blah, and then she's talking to the wrong horror character.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
that's a little more clever.
That's good.
But that is when I watch the movie, I do see some sort of like, I don't know, divide between the actual script and the execution of it. Because if we want to talk about performances, especially a lot of these like side characters, even though I like the over-the-top quality to the movie, the actual performances, there's like the two guys that are in the cornfield. This is Everclear is kicking my ass.
It's Jay and Silent Bob characters.
Well, that fat guy is like, he's doing like a Jack Black impression.
Well, hey, Jethro! This is a rave, not a Halloween party!
And then the other guy that's there with him, Jason's standing behind him, and he's like, this is a closed party, and you're not invited.
Yeah, invite only corn poke, and you weren't invited.
Son of a bitch.
He sounds like a cartoon character. Or it's like all these like supporting characters are a little too silly, those performances.
Because it had influences of the teen sex comedies of the time.
I guess, yeah.
Like when they dumped the beer bong on the nerd kid. Like he felt like that. What is that kid in American Pie? He has the driver's license with the name on it.
Oh, you're talking about Superbad.
McLovin, yeah. Who's Stifler's mom? You slept with
Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom?
Yeah.
Is that American Pie?
That's American Pie, yeah.
I've never seen any of those movies. So I know, I'm vaguely familiar with the pop culture around those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
Your mom came out with just a towel.
But yeah, that kind of like heightened comedy acting.
It was very popular in that time.
I guess. But that's one thing where I feel like, yeah, it doesn't quite line up with probably what the original tone of the script was.
Correct.
Over the top, but taking itself seriously. And some of the performances I feel are like too over the top. Or in the case of the two leads, I just think they're both not very good.
I'll disagree with you on that. You're talking about Jason Ritter and...
Jason Ritter and Monica Keena is the actress.
No, they are doing their job.
Why don't you tell me about Weston Hills? Do you work there? Because I thought you were a fucking general practitioner.
I'm taking you back to West. No, no way. You can't trust him, Lori. Whatever you do, don't go home with him.
Well, what?
And I mean, it's... I laughed several times because of Monica...
Keena or Keenan? Yeah.
She is delivering a powerhouse performance, saying the stupidest dialogue.
Look, he has taken everything from us. He has ruined both of our pasts. And I am not leaving until I see him die.
Jason died by water. Freddy died by fire. How can we use this?
Yeah. No, it's stupid.
It is stupid.
But they are not playing it like tongue-in-cheek or goofy.
No, they're playing it serious. I just don't think their performances are good, even in that aspect. The part when they're in the van, Jason Ritter keeps trying to find the right moment to tell Lori that he saw her dad kill her mom.
Okay, well...
It keeps getting put off, but they're in the van, and he says it, and it almost looks like he's trying not to laugh.
I tried to tell you this earlier. The reason I was sent to Weston is because I saw your dad kill your mom.
He's like, I saw your dad kill your mom.
I would like to hire Meryl Streep and Daniel Day-Lewis and put them in the van and give them the same script and get Ronnie Yu to direct it and just do that scene.
Just do it again.
And do it again. And just see if your theory is correct and just say, go for it.
Well, this has always been my thought. The other actors are already right there. Like I mentioned, they shot this in Vancouver. So most of the supporting roles are Canadian actors that you've seen in a million. Every time they show up in something, you're like, oh, this was shot in Canada. Lachlan Monroe is the cop, the younger cop with the Backstreet Boys haircut.
Frosted Tips.
Canada actor. And the two friends, Will's friend that he's in the institution with, that actor, his name is Brendan Fletcher. And he showed up in a bunch of Canadian movies. I think he's a very good actor. I think he does great in his supporting role in this movie. Get Jason Ritter out of there and put him in that role. And Catherine Isabel, who's the friend with the baseball cap in this. She's in like the Ginger Snaps movies. I think she is also a very good actor. Get Monica Keena out there. Put her in that lead role. And I think the movie is infinitely better with those two.
Okay, so reorganize.
Just some reorganizing. I think, and I don't, neither of them were really names, but I guess Jason Ritter, it seems like if you're going to cast people that, in those two leads, you'd want to get names.
You know what's fucking crazy is that Jason Ritter is in this?
Yeah.
And the lady that plays Jason's mother was on an episode of Three's Company.
Is this true?
It is true.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, talk about a small world.
I wonder if they had any conversations on set behind the scenes.
I worked with your father. At the time, John Ritter had not died, I don't think.
I don't think so, no. Because John Ritter was in Bride of Chucky before this for Ronnie Yu.
Yeah.
But interestingly...
I think John Ritter's last film was Bad Santa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was in that. And that was after this, so...
So she probably said, your father's really great. I worked with him for one episode of... Or she doesn't remember.
She might not even remember what happened.
You go back to that lady's profile, back to 1969, or like first film, it's like a black and white 60s sex orgy movie. She's been around.
Sure.
She did a ton of work, so she might not even remember that day that she did a bit character on Three's Company.
Or I have no idea that Jason Ritter is John Ritter's son. Who knows if this shit comes up?
They probably weren't even on set at the same time.
That's probably
But
true.
it's fun to imagine that conversation happened. You know?
Sure.
Jason, there's been a great deal of controversy about your training methods. How do you respond to that?
No comment.
This movie's fan service without getting too bogged down in all the details.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, of like the way nerd culture picks apart like every small detail of a movie now.
It's pure fan service, and because it sets you up. You if you don't know who Jason or Freddy are, it gives you a little bit of backstory, and it gets into the action pretty quickly. And then you have to have your structure of the film with the characters and the plot and the
likable
plan.
enough backstory for the characters.
Yeah.
The backstory of the friends, Brendan Fletcher. There's a whole backstory with his brother. And his brother, Freddy shows up as his brother who also Kermit sewer slide. And his brother's in the bathtub and he's like mocking him.
Yes, that was kind of an actual creepy scene.
Yeah.
And that's what
By the
Freddy
way,
does. Yeah.
That brother, Scott Farkas from A Christmas Story.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was actually him.
Oh, nice. What else did you want? They did it as best as they possibly could, with some stylistic choices that were kind of off a little. But really, like, if you wanted a movie where you see Freddy versus Jason, this is it.
Yeah.
And this...
Where it keeps those two characters, because those franchises are both corny. So it stays true to those characters without going in any, like, weird directions or adding pointless, I don't know, mythology or backstory. It's both of them, like, in their purest form.
Yeah.
They tried to balance it where you couldn't say one or the other one. For sequel potential, you can't have it that clear cut.
Nope.
So, yeah, having the little Freddy wink at the end is perfect. And then that was it for Robert Englund. It was a nice little send-off for him. He got to do a lot in this movie. For an older actor that hadn't played the role in so long, to do all these stunts, he's getting thrown around. He's got some great one-liners, like classic Freddy stuff in sequel Freddy kind of territory.
I don't want to say I love this movie. I think it's very good and very fun.
Yeah, you got to look at it for what it is. You could almost call it a guilty pleasure movie, I guess, because it is. I mean, it's all pretty stupid stuff.
Guilty pleasure is a good way to describe it, yeah. And it's certainly a fun watch. It keeps it going. It doesn't get dull. And it's a great Halloween pick for our first video of October. This was one of the most important discussions we've had.
Probably, yeah.
With everything going on in the world. It's important. It's important stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That we talk about very seriously. Oh, I thought you were going to do something long, like
I can.
Nerd Crew-esque sip. Well, that's staying in.
I fucked up the bit.